Let's just take Super Bowl Sunday, okay? It's going to affect beer, okay? Most of it, Corona here, comes from Mexico. It's going to affect your guac, because what is guacamole made of? Avocados, both from Mexico.
The next day.
Alert, and the breaking news of the day is on tariffs, and we just have word that the Mexican president spoke to Donald Trump, and they are going to pause the tariffs on Mexico for 1 month. And Jackie Heinrich is standing by at the White House with more on this development. Hi, Jackie.
Good morning, Dana. Yeah, that was pretty short-lived. The president spoke with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, the two sides agreeing to pump the brakes on the tariffs and then retaliatory tariffs that Mexico promised for the period of a month while they work out the terms of an agreement. The Mexican president just posted some of the details. Mexico is going to immediately send 10,000 members of the National Guard to prevent drug trafficking from Mexico to the United States, particularly fentanyl. Also, she says the U.S. is going to work with Mexico to prevent the trafficking of high-powered weapons to Mexico, something that Mexico hit back at when President Trump was threatening these tariffs. Was they were calling on the U.S. to curb the flow of funds from the U.S. down to the cartels. Sheinbaum says the two teams are going to begin working today on two fronts, security and trade. And President Trump posted on Truth Social that part of that team is going to include Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, as well as some representatives from Mexico.
Yes, within the space of 1 week, we have seen what Trump has done. You can't ignore this. When you take a look at this, it has been 2 weeks and Trump has already done this, cut billions in absurd, wasteful spending, made airstrike on, got Mexico and Canada to assist in militarizing our border, pardon all Jesse's prisoners, started mass deportation. 2025, Trump is officially the 2016 Trump they were worried about. Now, Libras are crying. I saw how they were melting down about tariffs. Mexico succumbed, and it didn't take long. Canada did the same. I wonder people who actually thought this was not a good idea. Now, look at the decision they have taken of at a certain point. When I watch people like The View melting down, partaking to this, it is crazy. They are not happy that Mexico accepted, to do this.
Just announced he will pause the 25% tariffs on Mexican imports. We have reporters in Mexico City and in the North Lawn of the White House. Let's go straight to CNN's Valeria Leon in Mexico City for the latest. Valeria, midnight was the deadline here where tariffs were supposed to be implemented. They're not now. Why?
So in a surprising shift, tariffs on Mexican goods are now on pause after President Sheinbaum and President Trump reached an agreement. So rather than presenting today Mexico's response to the Trump administration tariffs, President Sheinbaum confirmed that she had a conversation with President Trump this morning, what she described as a long call of 45 minutes to talk about immigration issues and the interest that both countries have in reducing fentanyl consumption. Both governments reached an agreement to secure the border. Mexico has agreed on deploying National Guards to the Mexico-U.S. border, and the Mexican president said that she asked Trump to cancel tariffs on Mexican products, which Sheinbaum said that Trump agreed to. Mexico's economy minister, Marcelo Ebrard, will be in charge of this negotiation with U.S. government officials. Let's put the tariffs on pause forever. That's what Mexico's president suggested to Trump this morning, but they agreed to pause tariffs for 1 month. Part of the agreement, she explained, has to do with the U.S. government committing to reducing the traffic arms into Mexico.
Yes, helping to protect the American people is something that should not be controversial. When I see people like this melting down on social media, particularly to this, Libras are freaking out. I don't know if they don't want to be protected or what exactly, or are they having a particular benefit from this? I saw how Canada and Mexico are so, freaking out, like, please, 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 never bring this again. This was a nightmare to these countries. Like, Trump knew exactly where to pinch them. And immediately when he did, they freaked out. They tried to make like they are strong. Along the way, they could not continue. They all succumbed to what he wanted. I will pause this for 1 month and to see if you are really serious in standing up for your borders. That is the importance of negotiations.
Catherine Rappel, I want to start with you. According to the White House press secretary, quote, Canada is bending the knee just like Mexico. Is that what's happening here?
This is hilarious to me because Trump got rolled by both of these countries, and no one, least of all Trump, seems to have realized it. Both the leaders of Mexico and Canada have agreed to do what they have already been doing. It's just that Trump didn't seem to know about it. Like, for example, the president of Mexico said that she would commit to having 10,000 troops at the U.S.-Mexico border. Guess what? There are already 15,000 people there, troops, military troops from Mexico there, and have been there for years. Trump didn't seem to notice this. Same deal with Canada. Prime Minister Trudeau said, aha, we're going to spend $1.3 billion on investing in border security. Guess what? They announced that $1.3 billion last year.
As has been reported by CNN and every other news outlet, both Mexico and Canada have reached agreements today with Donald Trump to do what we want them to do, which is to put people and technology and resources at the border to stop the flow of people and drugs, illegal immigration, stem the tide. That is the whole point of this exercise. And that is apparently what is happening. And yes, there have been some troops there in Mexico. This is an agreement to do permanent deployment. And yes, some of this stuff in Canada was already announced, but now they were dragging their feet. Now their feet are held to the fire. They've got 30 days to really implement, and they can't pussyfoot around anymore.
Yes, I don't know why this lady thinks they played Trump. There is nothing like that. Okay, let's assume that these people agreed to this. We didn't see any implementations of what they promised, the Biden administration. Watch me. You are going to see how these people are acting now, working extremely hard to protect this border under Trump. The way this lady is sounding is like a mockery, like crazy. They didn't implement anything. This is the time they are going to work. Reason, this is just a pause for 1 month. So, what is the excitement all about? I really want to know.
In NHL games over the weekend. Take a look. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
And I'll just say, Mexico, Canada, and China together accounted for more than 40% of total U.S. imports last year. But more importantly, Canada and Mexico are the top buyers of U.S. exports in more than 72% of all export categories. 72%. We send our stuff over there. So now if there are these tariffs, that's going to cause problems, billions of dollars of problems. And if the tariffs, if they are in turn return the tariffs, let's say it's your coffee, you have a coffee store, and you're going to sell a cup of coffee, and your coffee is $5. We know how expensive coffee is, right? Yeah. You sell coffee for $5. Now the coffee beans coming in from Mexico are now $5 more.
Yes, the view Sonny Hostin has no idea how the economy or negotiating works. These women hate Trump so much they are willing to put America last economically, just prove a point. That is the truth. Any clip you see behind my videos, that is just for algorithm. You can stop here. God bless you abundantly. Please always share the videos. It motivates me and the algorithm picking up to recommend.
Cowboy Carter.
DEI is not a threat, it's a gift.
If Taylor wins, she could become the first artist.
Right, make her feel good.
It's essential.
early on, immediately.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
To her.
The EU does not treat the U.S. fairly on trade and that he has some big complaints. Is that true?
Right? And it doesn't mean that we should sit and pretend that it's suddenly okay, that this new presidency is just going to keep on keeping on. That is not the case. And because, final point for me, a year and a half is because...
This is the United States.
You're talking about a man who didn't become the president of the United States because of merit.
This lady is not unstopped.
Where awful things have happened. So,
And sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Future president and his gag
are a functionality in policy.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning. And, I flew here last night. I was on a plane.
You getting water to areas that need...
He's been trained his whole life to do.
What do we do?
right now you're looking straight. Remember it.
As a country about
and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know.
Jordan.
In the 5 tenants of
Palisades Village right here. This is the town center of sorts.
And he did this little dance.
Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii. Had some,
And then we watch the news or talk to my friends.
Now look, I have a lot of fear.
This is not.
Guys, I can't believe what I just heard.